Hello and welcome to episode 45 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails hard mode playthrough here in cycle 54, day 8, 22-day bad tide just started prior to the beginning of this episode. And last time, we started building this little recreational area here. It's going to look a lot better once these trees are fully grown, but once again, that will just take time. Other stuff that we have been working on slowly over the past little bit is building some more housing up here. We got this housing here, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit pause for this because they're almost done building these ladders. I've been told that I shouldn't have deleted the dam here and instead solve some sort of other water distribution problem, but I'm honestly not entirely sure how to fix that. So, I am at the very least going to unmark that for demolishing and get that dynamite out of there. I'm going to leave this ladder in place because then we're going to be able to put the dam back in. But yeah, I kind of don't know what to do with this, and I don't feel like it's going to be worth that much more of our time, considering that we're almost at the end of the playthrough. But what I had considered kind of doing, if we peel this back, you take a look at the height of where this comes out versus the height of this whole thing here. It's all at the same height. So I figured, you know, because we wanted to have this fill up first, so we could have this full and then have stuff come over here. But a couple people noted that the reservoirs here have been kind of low, and this definitely isn't the ideal level that we'd want to have in this reservoir prior to a 22-day bad tide. So what I'd considered doing was maybe putting in some sluices here, so that the overflow, once this is full, would go back into this area. Maybe that's a little overkill. Maybe I should have just not messed with it in the first place, but I'm not going to do that today because we've got other stuff we got to get to. But just keep that in the back of your minds, and we'll keep moving on. What we actually are going to do today, and I have planned this out. I've gone into an alternative save, and I've kind of worked on this. It took a very, very long time, so this isn't going to be done today either. But we're going to build this tower up, and we're going to start the process of building the Earth Recultivator on top of it. And here's what I found out. You know, this is height 12. We're going to call this level 12. The maximum height you can have for terrain seems to be level 22. Which, if we go right up here in the middle, just to demonstrate to you, I don't think they can actually reach this, so it shouldn't be a problem. But just right here, because this is already kind of tall. Take this up all the way. That's as high as that goes. This is level 22. What I've discovered is that, well, this is honestly kind of a good spot to try to plan to put the Earth Recultivator on top of, just because, you know, it requires a 7x7 space. And this right here has 3 tiles here. It's got 4 tiles here, 4 tiles here, and technically 5 tiles, depending on how far you want to go down. But this is basically the center of this area. And on top of this, I guess I could keep this open, the maximum height you can build the Recultivator, the base of it, is 25. And what this is going to allow us to do, depending on how we want to do this, we can either put in a 5x5 platform here, and then do one of these kind of numbers, and then some 3x3s in the corners here. That gets us a 7x7, and then I can just pop in a platform here and here. This gets us to height 24. So obviously I'm going to go ahead and unlock this because we have 219,000 science, but this isn't going to stay exactly like this, but this is basically as high as we can go. If we really wanted to, depending on what we wanted to, you know, fingers on the wrong buttons again. Depending on what we wanted this to look like, we could also put that there, but that is the absolute highest that is going to go. I kind of do like having the levee texture underneath that. So, I mean, unless you guys can reach back through time and tell me, hey, please don't build that in that orientation, I would rather it go somewhere else, then I'm just going to leave this here. Obviously, they're not going to be able to build it yet because we do have to get up here and clean some other stuff up. But this is basically, you know, it's the gist of what I'm looking at here. I'm going to try to raise this entire structure here. This is what takes a really long time, is getting all of this in place, and there's other stuff we have to fix as well. But this is what I'm working with. I think it's going to be fine. I think that's going to be our best option, and there's other stuff we have to fix as well. So we're going to get right into that. Don't worry. I'm going to try to be judicious with your time. But the zipline station here currently is directly abutted to the Badwater rig, which is full of bots doing Badwater activities. What I'm going to do is hit pause. Nobody's on this zipline, right? All right, we're going to remove this zipline entirely. That thing, and what we're going to do instead is to make construction a little bit easier and also, you know, just connect stuff better. We're going to extend this out 1 block, which is going to make it possible for this zipline station to be a complete straight line between here and here. That's going to look a little bit better. And then we're also going to be able to take this piece out right here, this corner, and then we'll do a little bit of an extension with our terrain blocks here. We'll pop in a staircase, get that hooked up to the rest of this nonsense here, and that is going to allow them to get into the Badwater rig and also use this new zipline station once it's replaced as a method to get up top here. So, seeing how we've accomplished that, I'm just going to go ahead and, well, the design phase at least, going to go ahead and pop that in there. That is a big visual improvement. It's maybe not technically perfect, but, oh, we've accidentally stranded the beaver bots. Oh well, life goes on. But they're going to be able to take care of this, hopefully without too much weeping or gnashing of teeth, and we're going to be just fine. Before we move on, though, since I'm looking at these, yes, these have been manually closed. Because this is a bad tide, I'm going to leave them manually closed. But when we get to the end of this bad tide, we're going to put them back on auto so that the main reservoir can fill up with the good water coming out of the source that's in here. I had previously diverted it in here to try to keep this more full, but then, as you guys kind of pointed out, this is more than enough water if we have everything plumbed correctly, which more or less we do, to keep this filled up. We've got all these sources in here, and then we also have these sources here that are partly coming through here, partly going out that way, partly keeping this full. So, and this, now that we have the fluid dump, will never be completely closed. Or completely not closed. What's the term for closed in terms of having water? That's empty. Good job. Yeah, this is already set to not release anything if this is already full enough, so it shouldn't really be that big of a problem. I already have these sluices set way back in here. If I can even click on one of them to show you. Yeah, this is set to 0.05. So basically, if this has any amount of water in it at all, minus, you know, whatever this level is, then it's going to redirect all of it out this way. And if I put sluices in here, then all of the extra could go here partially, instead of just, you know, completely going away off the edge. And we also do have to build these sluices here, but these ladders are not reachable because somebody didn't have everything connected properly. The good news is, most of this has been taken care of, but I neglected to pop in a single piece of platform there that would connect everything. So that's going to help that. All that being said, we're still in the process of taking care of this. We also, to help them build up here, are going to have to do a little bit of cleanup here. All of these blockages, unfortunately, are going to have to go away. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to have to do a little bit of finagling with all of our different ladders and accesses and stuff. It is, it's going to be a little annoying, so I am going to end up time-lapsing through a lot of that. But the basic thing I'm trying to accomplish, turn this back on here, is I would like to extend the height of this. Thank you, autosave. I would like to extend the height of this without it just being super blocky, so I figured out kind of how to have some stone insets and kind of preserve the overall shape of some of these things without it being completely stupid. But it does take a very long time. In my previous, I guess we can call it a testing world, it's the same world, it just didn't save and I exited to go record this. But in my testing world, it took me 2 cycles to get that completely built. Maybe it could get done a little bit faster, but you know how it goes. So, to that end, what we are going to need to do here is perhaps, you know, do things in a little bit of a kind of frustrating to watch manner. There's going to be a lot of camera movements and all that stuff to take care of, whatnot, but you know, that's just the way it goes. That's what we have access to. That's what we can do. So they're going to be taking care of some of those things while we're doing other stuff, just to get kind of the preliminary nonsense taken care of. If I can remember exactly where all of these things had to go, it's not really a super glamorous process, but I'm going to do my best. It's about all anyone can ever expect from me at this point. So we're going to have them take care of that, put this on triple speed, and there's just, you know, small things we can fix, clean up. This lumberjack has absolutely nothing to jack, so goodbye. Somebody left a comment saying that they thought I might still have these marked for cutting. I don't. But I can tell you, based on what I figured out during that building session for planning stuff, this still isn't enough maples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down one more row being a very broad term, of chestnuts. Not pine trees, though, because we still, for some reason, keep running out of... Wait, no, okay, later on we did. And I'll tell you why. It's actually not a problem. So forget that 5 seconds ago I said I wasn't going to cut this down, because I'm definitely going to cut these down. We're going to plant yet another row of maple trees, which will take some time to get everything taken care of. But, like I said, it's going to take multiple cycles for this thing to be done anyway, so it's not like it really matters. Go ahead and get this lumberjack flag unpaused. Let them take care of what they got to take care of. Make sure these are not marked for replanting, which I'm going to have to zoom in and just take care of all of this manually so they don't take care of that automatically. Shouldn't be a super difficult thing. But we'll come back to that a little bit later. Still plenty of other stuff to discuss. They're still going to be working on a decent bit of this, depending on, you know, how much of this they can reach. Obviously would be much improved if they were able to get that up and running. I think they're just waiting on... Yeah, they're just waiting on them to get to this in the build order. So if I give that a little bit of a boost, that will help this go faster as well. Plenty of fun stuff to take care of. Don't you worry about that. So, like I said, we're going to be building up. Thank you, autosave. Or just general lag. I'm actually not sure which one. But I'm going to try my best not to have this just be oppressively square. This piece right here, this blockage, I'm actually going to leave in place, and I'll tell you why. Because this is a great opportunity for us to kind of build around this and incorporate it into what we've got going on here. This one also is going to be left in place. This one is one that needed to be demolished. Like in the corner here. Just really easy while we have access right now to just start building up some of those little bits and pieces. Not all of these. Well, this one does have to go away because of how this is going to get built, but shouldn't be a tremendously annoying thing. I'm going to put a little tank, small tank, right here for biofuel to help keep our bots alive. Simple task. They'll take care of that, and then we are going to have to time-lapse a lot of this a little bit later on. But hopefully, yeah, they're still in the process of getting this taken care of, but now this sluice is ready to go. It is basically open all the time, which is good, as long as I have a dam here that keeps this situated. So, we will go ahead and put this back here, get that prioritized. Nice and easy. They should be able to take care of that without too much suffering, and I know that can't stop all of the rest of this from coming out that's already come out, but it's a start. It's an improvement. That's sometimes all we can ask for. We also, last time, did a little bit of getting this stuff situated here with the biofuel and the catalyst. We're still not making enough catalyst because we still don't have enough maple syrup. That's not really something that's ever going to be easily solvable without waiting a very long period of time. So, we do need to let them have their own time to get this stuff all taken care of, and then I will come back in and plant the rest of these maples. But, since we're already here, I will go ahead and plant in these already removed spaces, and then also unmark these for cutting, because obviously... And we'll just have to come back and check on this at some point in the future to get that taken care of. Now, before I go into time-lapse mode and start messing with a bunch of this stuff, remember, to build the Earth Recultivator, we have to have 2,000 gears. We have 1,600, which is probably fine. They can make them pretty quickly. But we only have 1,000 treated planks. We will need 2,000. 1,500 metal is not a problem. So just so we have other storage of this so it doesn't become a problem, I'm just going to come over here. Since I have space in this exact spot, I'm going to put an underground pile for more of these treated planks. It'll give us exactly as many as we need. And then warehouse-wise, I'm going to make storage for another 1,200 gears. Now, why would you do that, you might ask, when you already have 1,600 and you're never going to need 3,000? One, it's easier. Involves fewer clicks, and I kind of don't want to deal with it. Two, the industrial capacity we have now is perfectly capable of keeping up with it. We have plenty more trees. We've expanded our farming and everything, so I'm not really worried about it. What I am worried about is things taking too long in building the monument, and we have to drag this on another couple episodes because I don't have the storage of all of the different parts. So that is why we are doing that. We already have 2,200 planks. Things are fine. We have 540 some pine resin. I don't think that's going to be a problem to make any more of these or keep up with production, whatever. And then, of course, gears are gears. They're going to get made whether we want them to or not. That's just the way that it goes. So, now, friends, it is time for me to start time-lapsing the construction of our Tower of Doom, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I can't do this all from one camera angle. It's going to be jumping around a lot. If you don't want to see things, whatever, then just fast forward to the timestamp that I'm about to put on the screen right here. Sorry, I have to be able to do it, and I always tell you guys that I'm going to show you the whole process. That's kind of my whole brand. I don't do the cuts. I don't do the jumps, whatever. So enjoy this, or don't enjoy it. The choice is yours, but regardless, it's going to happen anyway. And we're going to see just how much they can get accomplished in the next little bit. I guess, I mean, it's going to take such a long time. It's not going to be all done today anyway, but I do want to at least lay out all of the dirt and maybe talk a little bit about why I had to do stuff the way I ended up doing it. Because it took me a while to figure this out. I was in there for a couple hours outside of my normal recording time, which, you know, for me is a big step. I generally try not to spend an inordinate amount of time planning stuff because, you know, the authenticity of just doing it off the cuff is fun. Sometimes it's not, and sometimes you guys rightfully call me out for, you know, this is a huge waste of time. You can't believe what, blah, blah, blah. But I think sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes. All that being said, let's go ahead and come out of the time lapse and see what this finished product, quote unquote, looks like. Alright, so coming out of the time lapse now, and I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out so far. I've got a little bit more I'd like to do, but I really like how this face is real jagged like this. It's not super easy to do it on all four sides, and this side was left completely straight for reasons we will talk about in a moment. But as you can see, this is as high as the terrain is allowed to go, and we have a too high gap here. So I was kind of feeling like, you know, maybe we could just leave this open and then have some other ground just continue to go in to the middle here. So this is just kind of, you know, doing spindly stuff. But we still have to have stairs up to the entrance of this thing so we can build it. And then, of course, you know, they have to be able to access this level of levees as well. So, in conjunction with this whole face being completely flat, I had the idea, what if we had stairs go all the way around the outside, or just up and down this one side? Wrapping all the way around the outside might actually be a little bit more difficult than I would care to try and do. But I think we have an opportunity, especially to come up from where this station is, to just kind of go up and wind it around and so on and so forth. Maybe do something like that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of experiment with that in real time. I'm going to take the ladder out. This side, with the exception of this little hole right here, which is about to be filled in. With the exception of that, everything's looking pretty good. This was the way it was because it had to be the way that it is, so that's just going to kind of be left to its own devices. But I think, you know, getting the water routed around this is probably fine. Just to leave it like this. Like, they can walk through stairs that are wet. I'm not going to be that worried about it. But for the sake of, you know, actually using stairs, I will dynamite that. And then I'm going to have this go up just like so. And we may actually be able to kind of go around and then back over. I'm not entirely sure. I had an idea for this, and it clearly has not manifested in the way that I would necessarily prefer it be manifested, but sometimes that is just the way she goes. I do think, however, that I can kind of justify putting in the staircase the way that I'm going to be putting in the staircase here with these stilts everywhere. You know, you put the triple in like that, you put that in like that, and then this could just become, you know, a regular piece of terrain very easily. But, you know, it's one of those things you kind of have to just experiment with it till you kind of figure out exactly what it is that is going to, I guess, speak to you design-wise. So we have the option here of continuing that down more, or what I can do is I can just kind of do one of these numbers. Remember, they can extend a little bit further out depending on how you want to have this set up. But for how this is currently, I think this is probably fine. I didn't want to, you know, make this a super complicated, like 8 billion switchbacks kind of situation. But I also would like for it to look at least somewhat menacing and foreboding here. So what we may actually want to do is move this out a couple blocks to go up this side. So, you know, all the everything I've just done here, I'll probably I'll probably just redo. But if I were to do that, then what I could possibly do would be to just kind of, I know I said I was going to leave that there, but I can't build off of it unless I do one of these kind of numbers. I don't think I can, yeah, it's not going to let me get rid of that, but I can do a little bit of tomfoolery here, and then just kind of hook it up with more stilts or something to that effect. If we have this kind of like a, you know, come out like in a bulbous manner here, then that might not be like the most ridiculously stupid looking thing you've ever seen. It might be on the list, but it might not be completely insane. So if I just have to get that popped in like so, then I could actually, if I have this set up correctly, ooh, oh, we're so close. We're so close. So very, very close. See, I keep forgetting. Keep forgetting about having to, you know, have a landing at the bottom of the stairs here. Why is the game paused? I don't know. But, you know, giving ourselves the option here to have a little bit of a switchback and then come down this side once again, just to make it a little easy. Maybe hide this kind of. I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest with you, but I do like the idea of representing some sort of a treacherous ascent. That certainly would fit the bill, just to have that go right like so there. Oh, actually, you know, okay, it's a little bit more regular than I maybe would prefer, but, you know, unless you have something better, then that's what we're gonna that's what we're gonna leave this at. So hopefully they can actually build this. I didn't really do that great of a job of checking the feasibility when it comes to dirt blocks oriented, which way, stairs, so on and so forth. But I guess we're gonna see here, depending on how long this this decides to take. But let's leave that alone for a little bit and come back here to plant some of our maple trees. That's what it's called. Because I realized I probably should have done that during the time lapse, but you know how it goes. Best laid plans, etc. But that's going to be good. This lumberjack flag can safely be paused, and then yes, we are going to once again have to remove the tapper shack and replace it with a forester. Don't worry, though. They'll get that planted, hopefully, soon-ish. And then we'll have even more maple syrup. But you can see they're still using pretty much every single bit they're harvesting, for better or for worse. We've not quite filled up the treated plank storage. The gear storage is looking really good. Plank quantities haven't really changed at all. And, of course, we still have some biofuel, but we probably could stand to have a little bit more of that. How are we looking here? Okay, so they can't reach that. That's why this has ground to a halt, but we can kind of help that with a couple of ladders. Hopefully, they can take care of that, and then they can build the rest of this nonsense. Doing this like this will also allow them to have access to this top area up here in case we want to put some other stuff there, but I'm not entirely sure that's what I want that to look like just yet. So, we do still have 3.6 days left in the bad tide. We're going to go all the way through the bad tide. Oh, this is now no longer irrigated. Okay, well, I thought for sure that my little pools here would have worked a little bit better. So I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll go ahead and blast another little tiny one here to try and irrigate a little bit more the next time there's water in. This probably can't be helped. This is back in place now. That should be good. And then I guess I'll probably still wait for your input on whether or not you want this overflow to go in here. It's probably fine. We got some trees growing in, and we got some little trees coming up as well. That's exciting to see. Still some stuff I could do over here. But the main thrust of what I was attempting to do today was to get this installed. And, you know, it does, in fact, just take time. But we do have some dirt storage, we've got some treated plank storage, we've got some log storage, and I guess I should probably also put some gear storage to try and, you know, prepare for the inevitable building of the giant wonder up top here. I am aware that this Earth Recultivator in this position will not reach all of the beavers. It will reach these guys here, and then nobody else, but sometimes that's just how it be. We can build another one here if we really feel like it, but that is that's just about the size of it, folks. So I'm going to time-lapse them building the rest of this staircase and getting through the rest of our bad tide here. I guess I could also do the end of episode stuff. We are coming up on that. It's going to be a shorter episode, I know, but I'm, again, trying my best to respect your time as we reach the end of this series. And, you know, not just have length for the sake of length when nothing is actually getting accomplished. This is actually a very good isolated project for us to go ahead and get out of the way so we can tackle remaining things that you guys want to see in the next few episodes. So please do let me know about those. I do have a couple decisions to make regarding final projects. But as always, cannot do it without your support. I really appreciate it. Whether it's just watching the video or whether you're on the Beard Booster list, you see the names on the screen. But those folks, of course, as I say every single video, subsidize the insanity, make it possible for me to just focus on having fun, making videos, playing the game, and not worry about trying to do sponsorships for stuff that, you know, nobody really wants to have a shove in their face for like the umpteenth time on the same day. I just want to have fun with the Beaver game, and that's what you guys allow me to do, so I really, really appreciate that support. That being said, let's come out of the time-lapse now and talk about what remains for this episode very briefly, and then we'll say sayonara until Thursday's video. Alright, so cycle 55. Somehow, these 6 idiots managed to get themselves stuck, which is going to make it impossible for them to get out unless I put in some stairs instead of one of these things. So it's part of the reason why I usually like to build with ladders, so they can't do that. But regardless, we'll get those guys taken out. We do have clean water flowing through here, so let's go ahead and manually it says 2% contamination. That's going to be fine. We'll set that back to auto. Set this back to auto. And we're going to have all that clean water pour out into this side very nicely. Should make that pretty simple. Go ahead and take care of these 2 ladders out there. Put your stairs in. Maybe, if they can ever find all the rest of the pieces, get these idiots out of here, and then we can actually start building the other thing there. I'm not, you know, completely in love with this, but at the same time, I guess this works. I maybe could double this back a little bit more here, but I did want them to be able to get to this. I also did not think this was going to flood our gear storage. That is a little bit of a problem. Let's go ahead, for the sake of, you know, actually getting this thing finished. Move that there. Get rid of that. Somebody come finish this. It says 100%. Is it not going to let them build it because they're on the square? Because if that's what's happening, then that is absolutely infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. I guess only 2 of them can occupy a single spot. All right. Come on then. Come on then. Get this mess out of here. Just finish the stairs. Anybody? Anybody? Anybody gonna come finish the stairs? No? Alright. Stupid idiots. Come in here. Will you go up those stairs? Can you do that? Can you do me a kindness? Will you? Will you even bother? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. You know, I never even watched that much of that show to be quoting. Anyway, we do have these planted. That's looking good. Stock of treated planks is gradually increasing. Still waiting to get some more pine resin, which I guess I could probably go ahead and put the tapper shack back for that. That's a whole thing. Oh, good. The stupid idiots finally got out of their stupid idiot jail. Ask me how I really feel. So they can get those little bits put back in. Say, look at these guys go. They're motivated. Now they can, yeah, we can finally get back to work. The slouchers are out of the way. But go ahead and get those finished. Looks like that is the last piece there. And we begin the enormously long task of supplying and building the Earth Recultivator, which will be a task for probably most of the next episode. It takes a long time to build this, even if you have every single piece of material in place. It does take a certain number of work hours. Look at them go. They're just like steamrolling through this. But we'll let them do that. Other stuff that I did say I wanted to take care of was to detonate this. So B for boom. Thank you, autosave. There we go. So, you know, we're doing our thing here. We're letting the water come out and fill our reservoirs. This, hopefully, will fill up nicely. We got day 2 looking good there. I know I still have to move this. I don't want to promise that I'm going to do it next episode, because then I'll be a liar when it doesn't happen. But we will move this. And I've heard that the flywheels mod has been updated. So I wasn't able to get it to work earlier, so I'll have to mess with that a little bit more. But I really would love to get some flywheels in, because I really, really like how those look. Friend of the channel, Beard Booster, Battery Smooth, of course, behind that genius mod. But now I just had the thought that I haven't marked all of these for cutting. Yeah, these were not marked for cutting, so that is a... Yep. Well, now they are, so... Yep, that's fine. These guys, of course, are going to have that forest growing a little bit more. But I feel like right now we are looking really good, and boy, is this going to make a cool thumbnail. So this is the part where I say goodbye. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you back on this playthrough on Thursday, and we'll see you back tomorrow for more Iron Teeth. We're going to fix a lot of the stuff people have been complaining about in that one. Don't worry. It's going to get better, I promise. Well, whatever you're doing, like I said, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.